Now that the Florida Panthers have tied down their big three unrestricted free agents to long term deals, they need to turn their attention to the other guys that have not been signed yet. I'll tell you who those guys are and what the contracts could be and what the contracts are for some who just did sign today. And what can the Panthers do to free up some of that cap room right now because they are over the cap limit as of today. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. Hit that subscribe button down below. You guys need to stay up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your back-to-back Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. What a crazy day yesterday. Tons of emotion. Incredible job by GM Bill Zito, and the job is not done yet. There's still a lot that needs to be done to fill up some of the holes in the roster, get some of these guys that they brought in signed. And where are they going to find this additional cap space to sign the rest of the players? But before we get into that, there have been a couple signings today. They are confirmed. It is done. This is number one right now. And it is Thomas Noce has signed a 1 year, $775,000 deal. That is a steal, guys. For next to nothing, for a 6'3", 199-pound guy who will throw it down. He's aggressive. He's a physical player. I really like the signing. I mean, he did contribute to this team. I know game number one, the puck going over the glass, the delay of game, we lost game one, but irrelevant. Even Paul Maurice said, everyone's going to make mistakes. We have to pick the guys up around him. The guys around him have to pick him up. I'm sorry. They have to keep him positive, and that's what this team does. It's a team effort. It's not one person that will bring the team down. I like the signing. It's cheap. Bill Zito worked his magic again. I still cannot believe how he did not win GM of the Year. I know some of you guys are like, well, you got to have so much consistency with change and things like that, and it can't be just the same. All of the accolades that this team has gotten over the last 4 years shows that he's the best GM in the league right now. But beside that point, he's able to talk to all of these players and get them into the into that mode, that thinking of, hey, this is a team first mentality. This is not about let's pay you every single penny we can and back up the Brinks truck. Let's win games. Let's make this a dynasty. Let's make this a perennial championship contender. He's convinced each of these players to come back and play for less money. I mean, again, Sam Bennett is the exception. He won the Conn Smythe. He had a breakout year in the playoffs. He set a record for road goals in a season. He deserved every bit of that $8 million per year salary that he's going to be getting. That's AAV. He deserved it. But as for Brad Marchand, as for Aaron Ekblad, those guys both took less money because they want to win. That's what this is about. That's what I love about what Bill Zito is able to do. Again, it's changing the culture since he got here. And that is a topic for another day. But I'm just saying he has a lot to do with why these guys are signing for so little. And it's incredible what he's able to do. He's just the magic man, Bill Zito. So as we're looking into this again, Thomas Nosek, not the biggest numbers if you look at the season that he had. I mean, obviously the last 2 years, not a whole lot to show for it. But he's one of those guys that plays on those, those deeper lines. But he does contribute. Again, big guy. He'll throw his body around. He's a physical player. He'll still get on the forecheck. He's going to stand up for his teammates. Yes, he'll throw the body. And this is what I'm trying to tell you when I say he throws the body. He does stuff. Well, here's a goal that he scored. It's one of the lone ones that he had, one of the rare ones. But look at the hits he'll just pull on a guy. He's done it with the Bruins. He's done it with Golden Knights, excuse me. I mean, he will throw the body, and I like his physicality. I think that's phenomenal that he will be able to contribute like that. Those little intangibles that he will throw in there. That's why he was integral, especially in the Toronto Maple Leafs series this past postseason. Even Paul Maurice said he really helped contribute to get this team past that round. Again, that physical nature of his play. Not a whole lot of stats to look at in his last season, in the regular season. Like you can see, they're just under 10 minutes. If you guys can't see it, it says he just had under 10 minutes of TOI. It's around 9 minutes, 49 seconds. So not the biggest signing, but it's a big one for the Panthers because they needed to keep someone in that position. And the bad news, though, is with his signing, that probably means that Schmidt's going to have to walk. He's going to probably get around $3 million a year, but he earned it, man. He resurrected his career, had a great regular season and great postseason. He's going to deserve it. I mean, who knows? Maybe Bill Zito does pull a trade out of somewhere, shores up enough money, and can convince him to possibly come back and just keep this winning roster together. But I don't know. That's going to be really tough to do. The next one is Denil Terasovv did sign his contract, 1 year, $1.05 million deal. He is shored up right now. 1 year deal. So, like I said, I didn't see this as a long term solution. It is short term now. Let's see how he plays. He is a young guy. So, that's the good news. Hopefully, Bob will teach him a few things. And that's the other side of this is what is Bob going to do? Are the Panthers going to try to lock him in probably for the next few years? Because this upcoming season will be the last year on his current contract that's to $10 million. The good news is if they do a deal before the season even begins and extend him, it's not going to be for $10 million a year. Yes, he's playing the best hockey of his career, but an aging goaltender, I think he'll probably get somewhere between about 7.5 to maybe 8.5 million, give or take. We'll see. Again, I don't want to speculate on that too much. We're just getting into this offseason right now, but that's great. Denil Terasovv, he is signed in, locked in for this year. And then we have to look into guys like Mackie Samuskevich, who's not signed yet. 22-year-old had a hell of a season, 15 goals and 16 assists, 31 points, 13 just over 13 minutes of TOI. I love this kid. He is fast. He really kind of reminds me of a Carter Verhaeghe, kind of mixed in with a little bit of additional swag at times. I mean, not the biggest guy in the world, but he'll get in there in some scrums from time to time, but he's quick. I love watching this kid skate. That first goal that he scored last year, took it the length of the ice and did a wraparound, and it went and hit the back of the net. Pretty solid player. He, I think, is going to be the future of this organization. But again, they should be tying him down to probably around $1 million per year. I don't think it's going to be long term again. Probably 2 or 3 year deal. Keep it lower. But that brings us to this. We have to take a look at the cap, and they are $2 million, almost $2.2 million over the cap limit as of today. So we did sign our guys, but we're over just a little bit. And I said this before. Unfortunately, the cap casualty could be Evan Rodriguez, and everybody doesn't want to see him go. I understand. I don't want to see him go either. I love his tenacity on the ice. I mean, he just seems to be everywhere when he is playing, and he's not sitting on the bench. He is everywhere. He's throwing his body. He seems always to be around the puck at the right time. I mean, I really just love his physical nature, his forechecking, and even his back checking too. When he gets on defense, he really gets back there and he'll throw his body around, even though he's not the biggest dude out there. But that $3 million per year could put us right back to where we need to be, and we could potentially sign another free agent for a similar amount to Thomas Noce, around that $775,000, because we're going to need one on defense because Schmidt's going to walk. And I don't know who else the Panthers could potentially get rid of. That's going to be tough. I don't know if you're going to want to get rid of a Balinskis, things like that. I don't know. I don't think that's such a great idea. So as we look at this right now, these are the current new signings. You see, Denil Terasovv, $1 million. We have Thomas Nosek, $775,000. Aaron Ekblad, 6.1 per year. Brad Marchand, 5.25 per year. And then the big thing I want you all to look at, obviously the Sam Bennett one too, he's not up there, but Matthew Tkachuk is an active injury. And this is the other area that the Cats could potentially relieve some of this cap space that they don't have anymore. So right now, like I said, the circle in the middle there is Evan Rodriguez. That $3 million per year would put us back under the salary cap by about $850,000. I can't remember what it was on the last page. But if you look at Matthew Tkachuk, he said at the end of the season he was playing with a sports hernia, and he also tore his adductor off the bone, guys. That's the muscle that leads up to the inside of your groin. So if you've ever pulled your groin, that's pretty much the muscle you were pulling, and everybody knows how painful it is. He said he tore it off the bone. We don't know if he's going to go and have off-season surgery. That remains to be seen, but that's another area that the Panthers could free up some cap space and kind of do what they did last year. And don't talk to me about the collective bargaining agreement, because it does not really phase the Panthers to shore up cap space and put him on LTIR in the beginning of the season. That has mainly to do with going into the playoffs, placing players on LTIR. that's where the collective bargaining agreement was changed a little bit in terms of, teams can't allow players to, you know, sit out, especially if they look like they could be back playing on the ice and then get somebody else to come in. I mean, the Lightning did this with Kucherov. I think the Golden Knights did this with Stone as well. That's the change. So if Kachuk has surgery this offseason and they place him on LTIR, that would free up a considerable amount of cap space and they'd be able to sign some guys to this roster. So they could get another defenseman. Who knows? Maybe he will decide to do it. I mean, I don't know. The offseason, there's still a lot of time. We're just in July 1st as of today. So we'll see what happens there. And then, like I said, Nate Schmidt will probably end up walking. I'm crossing my fingers. Maybe they'll be able to somehow find a way to sign him and convince him to stay because he was a tremendous player on this team. And man, he would be a big boost to this defense right now, keeping these guys together. I mean, I love how Ekblad is staying to be in that pairing with Forsling, who are just so dominant in the postseason, as well as having the Seth Jones and Nico Mikkola. That line is just scary. Two big dudes going out there and just laying out the hits, man. But the good news is for next year, there's going to be enough cap room, hopefully, to sign a lot of these guys. Unless, Mikkola ends up having his breakout season and he's going to want, $4 million a year. But we'll see. This team right now is built to make another run at the Cup. The Florida Panthers have locked in all of their core players. They are now set. They have 10 players locked in for the next 5+ seasons. They're going to be making runs deep into the playoffs for at least the next 4 to 6 years. Let's not discount Brad Marchand. He's got plenty of gas left in the tank to keep helping this team. We'll see how it goes, but let's not crown him and say he was the end-all sale of why they ended up winning the Cup this past year, because they did win it without him the previous year. He was a huge contributor in big-time moments. Incredible player, but let's not crown him and say he was the only reason why they won this year. There were so many other plays that got this team to where they were. But the Bennett signing, tremendous. Getting Ekblad in here for less money, tremendous. Again, I'm going to commend Bill Zito. What an absolute magician. I mean, again, it's all about culture down here, and he has pushed that. And that's why players are coming down here. And that's why players are taking less money. They're doing something down here that nowhere else they are doing it. And players are loving it. That's why they're taking less money. But guys, again, thank you for help. Thank you for joining me, on this episode of Panthers Digest. I do appreciate your support. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below because it takes 2 seconds and there's tens of thousands of you watching these videos, and I do appreciate all of your support, guys. I will see you next time. If there's any other breaking news, I will be delivering it as quickly as I possibly can. Again, thank you all for your support. I'll see you next time on Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. Go Panthers.